Shh. Can you hear that, Pedro?
What?
Exactly. It's so blissfully peaceful here.
Why is it so quiet? Well, we're about 100 miles from the nearest motorway. All that rushing and hecticness is a whole slice of sea away.
This is Cregneash, and this is Maggie.
The Isle of Man is an island right bang in the middle of the Irish Sea, between the UK and Ireland. Cregneash is on the southwest of the island. Welcome to Cregneash, or Falt Ort in Manx Gaelic. Cregneash was one of the last bastions of the Manx language and helped keep the language alive. Here, you can find cats with no tails and 4 or sometimes even 6 horned sheep. So what's the tale? See what I did there? About the tailless cats, otherwise known as Manx cats. All sorts of myths have been spun over the years, but in truth, it's all down to a mutant Manx gene. With us being surrounded by sea, there was less cat variety about, so the tailless gene was able to thrive. Not as interesting as some of the other stories, like the claim Manx cats are descendants of both a cat and a rabbit. Things Cat Olympics. They'd be the gold medalists for the high jump and sprint events. But a cat and a rabbit?
A cabbit? No, genetically not possible.
And there's the tale of the Manx cat almost missing the boat. Not the steam packet boat to the Isle of Man, but Noah's Ark. Noah was just closing the door of the ark when the cat rushed in, caught his tail in the door. But there's no rushing to be had today. Just breathe in the tranquility and relax. We have a saying in Manx Gaelic, trade allure. There's time enough. It's basically the Manx equivalent for manana. Ned Madrell, born in 1877, grew up in Cregneash and was the last surviving native speaker of Manx Gaelic. Thanks to Ned, all is not lost. When Irish Taoiseach Raimond Spekking visited the Isle of Man in 1947, he met Ned at Harry Kelly's cottage in Cregneash. The Taoiseach then arranged for the Irish Folklore Commission to record the last native voices of Manx Gaelic to preserve the language for future generations. Ned Madrell also helped teach future advocates of the Manx language, and it is now taught in schools. There's also a Manx Gaelic primary school in St John's. So, right on the brink, the language has been saved.
Which is sort of a bit like this fella's family.
Nope, we haven't just slipped into the Lord of the Rings. This beauty is a Loaghtan sheep, native to the Isle of Man and a rare breed indeed. In the 1950s, there were only 43 of these lovely Loaghtans left. Extinction was just a breath away. Thankfully, their numbers have increased somewhat since then, but the breed is still classed as technically at risk. 4 horns is their norm, but some do have as many as 6 horns.
What a cracker.
Cregneash is a stronghold of traditional crofting here on the Isle of Man, and as a working farm and open-air folk museum, it's a fascinating place to learn about traditional farming and rural crafts and skills such as spinning and weaving the Loaghtan wool. Step into the cottages and immerse yourself in another life, another time. I don't know about you, I would happily live here. What a view. That's the Calf of Man. Let's take a closer look.
Blimey! That was quick.
We're just a couple of miles down the road from Cregneash, and this is the best place for views over to the Calf of Man. It's also a top hangout spot for seals. You'll often see them basking on the rocks here. The Calf of Man is a small island just nearly nuzzling the south coast of the Isle of Man. The Calf is surrounded by a few tiny islets. One of them is the Brugh. It's also known as the Drinking Dragon, and it's easy to see why. As it's a nature reserve, the Calf of Man is uninhabited by us human folk, except for the bird warden and visiting volunteers. It's a stunning place, but the sea is notorious for its strong currents around here. 4 lighthouses perch rocks and cliffs, beacons over the years that will have saved many lives in these rough waters. 2 of those lighthouses were built in 1818 by Robert Stevenson, the famous Scottish civil engineer. Not to be confused with the other Robert Stevenson, the English civil engineer of locomotive fame. And there was also Robert Louis Stevenson, the novelist, the guy who penned Treasure Island. Do you know, you can visit the Calf of Man. There's boats from Port St Mary and Port Erin, but you need to book ahead. Also, you can even stay overnight in the small self-catering hostel there. Again, you need to pre-book that. Whew, what a place to wake up to. Unfortunately, this lot have never been to the Calf. Dogs aren't allowed. Back on the mainland, that's the Isle of Man, grab yourself a cuppa and a slice of bonnog. Bonnog is a traditional Manx sweetbread. It's almost as delicious as the views from the Sound Cafe. Lovely. Talking of views, the Isle of Man is home to 26 of the British Isles dark sky sites. All that sea around us means we have very little light pollution, so on a clear night we have some out of this world night skies. Here at the Sound and up the road in Cregneash are 2 of those dark sky sites. Roll out the blankets, pop out the flask of hot chocolate and soak in the stars.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, we're off to take a ski at another part of the island. Come and join us.